Alright, so I'm doing another video about circuit bending my Volca bass. This time better camera angle. You can see I have a soldering iron, although it's not turned on yet, or it's not hot. It is plugged in. That won't matter later. And I put a coin on the key so I don't have to constantly touch. So I'm still playing around with the circuits here in the beginning a little, looking for something that is repetitive, that I can control, that is predictable, so I can mod it, right? If it's not predictable, like a science experiment, then it's not really useful for something like modding. This piece that I'm touching right now, and these other pieces that look like it, I think it's like a transistor or something, I'm not sure. They are kind of unpredictable, but they do create crazy sounds, and I'm not sure what it's doing to the sound, how you would describe it in words, what is happening to the sound when you touch these pieces. But later on in the video I will find something predictable that I understand a little more. The synth patch is also a little less obnoxious than last time. Props to the developers. I've caused so many short circuits on this piece and it still works perfectly. That's kind of crazy. That's the resonance on the filter. And the filter cutoff that I'm manipulating. That's the LFO speed that's modulating the pitch. Somewhere near the spot where I touched before, there's a resistor that is predictable. Every time you touch it, the sound turns to a horrible noise. So it's predictable. Every time you touch it, it's a very small piece, but it's not particularly useful for making music. So I kind of ignored that. As you can see, the iron is not hot, but it is plugged in. The electricity, I think the electricity is doing something to it. I'm not sure. Because later I will hook this up to a battery and that will change the sound. You'll see. this is where I hit the jackpot. You see this middle row of knobs. So I'm facing the back of the synth, right? So I'm looking at these knobs from the top, so to speak. And there you find every knob has 2 gaps on the back. And if you find, right, 2 gaps between 3 rows of metal sheets, if you touch one gap, it increases the value of the parameter. If you touch the other gap, it decreases it. And this is super predictable and repetitive. So that was where I decided to take the mods into, because I could actually control this. That's the resonance of the filter that I'm messing with. Earlier it was the octave. And this works for all of the knob parameters. Or at least the first 5. I haven't tried with the individual pitches of the oscillators yet. Right, but I can mess with the octave, as you can see here. Right now, messing with the LFO, pitch and speed, this is also predictable. I can repeat this effect every time I touch this. Here, right, these pieces, you have to touch those pieces right on the back of those knobs to get this effect, right? You see these 3 small columns. I didn't do the best camera work here, but you can see it basically. Right, that piece. Now don't touch too low there or you will cause a short circuit. That's what happened here twice. But if you touch it at the top, it's very predictable. In the back you see a Behringer Ultra Octave pedal. I have multiple Behringer pedals, but this one, you know, I guess it does what it is supposed to, but I'm not really a big fan of the sound. It seems pretty noisy and not really useful, probably because I'm not running guitars into it. So I want to take this apart next, see what I can do with it. Messing with octave and resonance on the filter again. Trying to figure out which parameters I want to mod. That's the noisy resistor I mentioned. Right, it's super predictable. Every time I touch it, the same thing happens. But as I said, it's not particularly useful for making sounds. But it is repetitive in case you're interested. You can kind of tell the position of it. It's a very tiny piece. I think that's the LFO rate. And I will build a modulator that controls, I think it controls the octave, it raises the octave and it increases the LFO speed. And the LFO is modulating the pitch. So yeah, this mod controls one parameter at basically the press of a button. I have no clue what any of these pieces are doing, really. If anyone has an idea, then please let me know. I don't know what it's doing when I'm touching that. And you can see that I've soldered the first piece onto it. This is the iron that increases the octave. And now I'm gonna put the one on the LFO rate. Now this is my first time soldering basically. So I'm not an expert. I just got the cheapest soldering iron I could find on Amazon basically. But it works, you know, it does the job, and it works, so I'm happy enough. I think I had it set to around like 300 degrees Celsius. I swear the pieces were so small I couldn't see what I was doing. There was some toxic smoke coming out of that, and the smell was going right in my nose. So I had to hold my breath, because you can bet that that stuff is toxic as fuck. But I did it, it works. So I think now will be the next cut. Yeah, you see I intertwined this, I was messing around with it, but all that did was short-circuited. Oh, I cut that stuff out, right? This is the part where I attach the battery. And this is how I modulate both parameters simultaneously. Right, now this part, I probably hit the wrong part of the battery. Once you attach it to a proper switch, this will work better, or proper button. But you can see I'm modulating both parameters, the octave and the LFO rate, simultaneously. Now you have to put the battery on the right way. The other way around, it always causes a short circuit. So yeah, I'd say this is my first successful mod, and I officially entered the stone age of circuit bending.